Hey, and welcome back to another episode, another Tip Thursday of the Czar Experience with me, Connor Klein. And that behind me, just there, you should be able to see, is the port of Odessa on the shores of the Black Sea in Ukraine. And Ukraine is relevant to this video because actually I used VocaBooster from Language Boost to learn my first words in Ukrainian earlier this year back in January in Lviv. Just bear in mind that I didn't just use VocaBooster, I also was at the language school, but I'm going to be breaking that down for you right now in the video. So with that said, cue the intro. So how does VocaBooster actually work? Well, what you're going to get is a series of, well, basically you have a word list of the 500 most frequently used words for that particular language. So in my case, it was Ukrainian when I was trying it out, when I was doing this test of it for you guys. Basically, you'll have the audio from a native speaker with the word in context. So that's very important. So you just don't memorize all these words. I mean, everybody who's probably learned the language at school knows that system, and it didn't work for me, and I don't think it works for very many people. But when you see things in context, it gives you the ability to remember it easier because you get to understand it just by seeing it where it's used. So that's something that's very useful in this course in particular. And so you're going to go through the different words. You can listen to it in different formats, like with the native speaker, with English, being repeated at the same time.
Ти розумний.
Now, so what do I find good and bad about using VocaBooster? Well, I think one of the strengths is the fact that it's pretty intuitive, right? You learn the vocabulary in context, as I said before, and that really helps with memorizing and remembering them, because these are the words, remember, that you're going to have to use constantly because they're the 500 most common. So I think for the beginner, this is really, really great. And I think also that just by using this and it being so easy and interactive in the sense that you can read it and use your Anki decks, for example, right? So you can be looking at the words and getting the recall while you're, say, waiting for the bus, or you got some downtime, you're on a break from a coffee break, a short amount of time. It really helps you to utilize that time that you have every day, and everybody has it. Don't tell me you don't have any time. We spend a lot of time every day doing stuff that, let's be honest about, scrolling through Facebook and whatever, watching TV. I mean, none of this is really good use of our time. It's about what we prioritize. I like the fact that it has native speaker pronunciation. That also really helps a lot with hearing the sounds in the beginning, and that will also help you, of course, understand the words when they're said.
Я розмовляю українською.
Now, the things that I don't like about it, and it's one that I find a lot with these kind of courses, is that it isn't very culture specific, right? So it's not really in the Ukrainian culture, or if you're learning it for Russian, for example, the Russian culture, and it tends to then be just a bit too generic. You don't really learn the stuff specific to the country. I always find that's an issue. Another thing is there's no possibility to compare your pronunciation of the words with, say, native speakers. That's a weakness, because those first words that you learn, they're going to become ingrained with the pronunciation that you use, and if it's wrong, that can be so hard to correct. So I know myself from French, it took me years to get rid of that English-speaking accent in French, so that's something that maybe could be integrated in some way to the product. Another thing, it doesn't have gamification and these other things, but I'm actually not a big fan. Like, I think gamification is a little bit of a distraction overall. I think it gets people a sense of reward that isn't the right metric. The right metric should be whether you're able to actually achieve your objectives, like speak to someone if you need to get a coffee, or open that conversation and start to go deeper into the conversation. Just depends what level you're at. That's my overview of the strengths and weaknesses. Actually, I didn't find too many weaknesses with it. I think for what it does, it's really good. It should be used in conjunction with other products though. You shouldn't buy it and think that, boom, this is gonna solve all my problems and tomorrow I'm gonna speak Russian or Ukrainian, but I think it definitely helps a lot. Big question, do I recommend using VocaBooster? Now, I'm not going to say that just using this and learning the first 500, 600 words is going to be enough for you to actually be able to communicate effectively in a language, especially when you come to the country like I'm here, where it's actually spoken. It's a supplementary product, so you definitely should be learning the language in other ways, like having a private tutor, for example, just being in a class, or you're using other applications or other courses, and it is just for the basics. It is beginners, right? It's not going to bring you up to advanced. It's not going to teach you to fluency in its current form, but I found it very useful. It was very quick to use, so it gives you that boost. Guess hence the name. So definitely I encourage you to go, and I can recommend it. Basically, you can go and buy it on their website. They also have it now hosted on Teachable, which is a hosting site which makes it a little bit easier to use. Instead of having to go and have the PDFs and everything in different places with the audio, it actually is all integrated now, so it should be even better. So I definitely got a lot of value out of it. Now, for the important thing, you get to see exactly how good my Ukrainian was after 1 month in Lviv, in Western Ukraine. So I'm gonna let you get ahead and get a little listen of me speaking Ukrainian.
Привіт.
Привіт, ми у Одесі сьогодні. Я Жені з Одеси, але вона розмовляє, розмовляє добре українською мовою.
Я?
Так? Ні? Женя, я був у Львові і
Так, я ж тебе хотіла запитати. Ти був у Львові. Тобі там сподобалось?
Да, добре. Дуже.
Дуже
Так,
сподобалось.
так. Львів дуже гарне місто.
Дуже гарне місто. Так, ти був у Львові, і в мене питання. Ти там якою мовою розмовляв?
Я розмовляв українською мовою.
Як давно ти вивчаєш українську?
Я був у школі 2 тижні.
2 тижні.
2 тижні. Я був у школі 2 тижні і розмовляв українською в кав'ярні.
В кав'ярні?
В кав'ярні, у ресторані, у барі.
Ну, а на якій мові тобі краще знайомитись, легше знайомитись? Я знаю, ти полюбляєш знайомитись. Я слідкую за твоїм ютубом і інстаграмом, я знаю, що ти любиш знайомитись.
Мене була дейт, як це зустріч.
Побачення.
Побачення, окей.
В мене була Софія, Марія, Олена, Катерина.
Неправда. Ні. Зараз можу розмовляти краще українською, ніж раніше. І допомагаю мене з дівчатами у Львові.
Ото істина, чому треба вивчати мову, щоб потім отак розмовляти з дівчатами.
Супер, так.
So that's the end of this video. I've given you an overview of VocaBooster and how it helped me learn Ukrainian. Be sure to check it out below. I felt it really helped me with those initial words, and it helped boost things, as Language Boost like to say, with their Voca Booster. So if you've enjoyed this video, you know the normal protocol. Boom, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe for the vibe, as my language learning guru friend Dr. Popkins likes to say in his videos. And I will see you all your smiling faces who are enthusiastic about Eastern Europe and traveling here and using the local languages like Russian and Ukrainian if you're traveling around the country in general. Best of luck with your language learning exercise. Let me know below if you have used VocaBooster and how you found it personally. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. It is Do Побачення, which of course is one of the first things I learned in Ukrainian, which is goodbye, and До свидання from Odessa, Ukraine. See you all in the next video. Peace.